So this week for my intro, I'm going to announce that I officially established my LLC. It's under my creative name, which is Rubios. This is something that is a major milestone to me, and this is something that people have been telling me to do for a while now. I'm excited to own my name. This is a name that I have claimed since I was 13. It was inspired by my favorite tea, and I'm excited to finally say that I'm a business owner. I own an LLC, and I don't know what exactly this is going to fold into. I have multiple ideas. I know I'm going to use it for freelancing, and I'm still trying to figure out the structure of my business and how it's going to work out. But for right now, the LLC is formed in the state of Illinois. I officially own my name, and I think this is a good place to be. Right before I graduate college, I will officially have my LLC like ready to go and everything. And if I have to go into freelance immediately because a design agency won't hire me, it's already set up for me. And yeah, just wanted to start off the episode by announcing this major milestone in my life. And yeah, let's get into this week's episode. So this episode is going to be a pretty deep episode, and it's going to include a lot of insight. I did my research to form my own opinion on this very significant and detailed subject, and I believe that this topic is very significant to discuss at this time in the state of the world that we live in. And we're going to be discussing what I believe to be the relationships between capitalism and the creative industry. This is my personal insight into how I believe capitalism and the state of the economy affects the creative industry and what we do as creatives. I will also be describing what I believe is our roles as designers, as creatives in the state of the economy and hence in capitalism. I believe there are connections between both. I believe that one affects the other and vice versa. I will start this episode off by saying for my international listeners that I live in the United States of America. I live in the USA. I was born into capitalism. I was raised under capitalism. Capitalism is all I've ever known. So in simple terms, capitalism is the ability for someone to have control over their own means of production, and there's a free market where that person can sell their goods for whatever price they want, and anybody can agree or disagree to buy that said good at that price. It's the reason why we're able to freelance our creative skills and to profit off of our work in the first place. With this freedom, capitalism allows for there to be a pay gap within society. It allows for individuals to be paid more than others. It allows for sellers to price goods at whatever price they want, and regardless of if it's a fair price or not, they're allowed to set their own prices. It causes inequality within society, and I didn't really realize the full effects of living under a capitalistic society till I got older and up to now, where currently I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to be living independently off of hopefully using what I gained from my college education, especially in the world that we're living in right now. It is a very interesting, but very tough period in life right now in the United States. Again, capitalism is the reason why we're able to profit off of our creative abilities and our work and what we do, but it also opens this whole can of worms that leads to it being very hard for us creatives to pretty much like work and survive in the current state of the world that we live in. For the most part, capitalism is the reason why we monetize what we do, especially in a society that prioritizes profit. This pressure to make sure that we are making money and profiting off of what we do, this monetization of our abilities, it's what causes the tension between our desire to create for the sake of creating and just making and creating things for the sake of making a profit. And this is something that I personally experienced when I first started sharing my work on social media. When I first started putting myself out there, I definitely had pressures coming from basically from the outside, where people were going to like my work. Was I going to be taken more seriously as an artist or a designer or a creative? And is it perfect because eventually I'm going to be getting paid to do this? And then there's the times where you actually get commissions, and that pressure intensifies because you're actually getting paid to do it and to create and to design or to produce work for somebody else. And there's that pressure to make sure it's all perfect. And that's a valid concern to have if somebody's paying you to do something. But it's different creating from a place of passion than to be creating for the sake of making a profit. And especially most of us creatives are working towards being able to make a living off of what we do. The pressures to create for profit and just in general, this pressure we feel to monetize what we do, these pressures come from capitalism. This leads me to my next point, which is that capitalism, the pressures that we feel from capitalism, definitely affects artistic integrity to some extent. This free economy that capitalism allows, it allows for cultural trends, it allows for societal trends. The corporations and people at the top of the social ladder use these cultural and social trends to basically profit off the society, and the power and influence that these corporations have on society, it definitely shapes and forms and definitely influences what society values, right? And let me just point out that strategic marketing with the assistance of professional creatives is the reason why these corporations have as much power as they do in society. Just an interesting point I want to bring up there. But what is determined to be trendy from these large corporations and the people at the top of the social ladder, these things definitely have a influence on what artists choose to make or not make. And I would say the effect of this is definitely has a more strong hold on developing creatives. Because what determines a creative success in society is to be able to understand the market, to understand the target audience, to understand and be aware of trends. It's getting harder for developing creatives to truly know what they want to do without taking into consideration what the outside world wants. Furthermore, it is getting harder for creatives to truly recognize what they want to do and truly what they want to make, because they have to take into consideration what is successful, what is considered successful by society, what is considered trendy, because we have to follow that to some extent, because somehow we gotta survive. We somehow have to make a profit off of what we do. And yeah, capitalism causes this struggle between artist integrity and media market demand. The next connection that I make between capitalism and the creative industry is that capitalism allows for the majority of creatives to not be paid adequately for what they do. And this goes back to a point that I made in a previous episode, which is that the creative industry is not taken that seriously. What we do gets minimized to playing with the camera and drawing pictures. We are not taken that seriously. However, like I said earlier in this episode, we play a role in strategic marketing and in how successful and influential corporations are in society. They need us. Billboard advertising, product design, commercials, packaging, website development, app development. These are things that are done by creatives. However, in the corporate world, marketing departments, creative departments, they are the least valued departments within the corporate ladder. I was literally told by my mom when I chose to pursue graphic design that the marketing department, the creative departments are the first to get cut or first to go whenever there is a recession. And when you stray away from the corporate side and you want to go into the music entertainment side, it's even worse, because that side of the industry gets more undervalued and more underappreciated and more underpaid. You're dealing with people that's work doesn't get valued as well, and hence they can't pay you because they're not getting paid. And then it goes back to capitalism, because most of the reason why we are doing what we're doing is so that we can make a profit. So while you are trying to monetize what you're doing, other people are trying to monetize what they're doing, especially in an industry where most people in that realm are not taking that seriously. It leads to a lot of creatives being underpaid and hence be exploited. So in addition to that, technological advancement and the rise of artificial intelligence is making the situation even worse. As seen throughout human history, especially in American history, there is a strong bond between capitalism and technological advancement. Whenever technology improves, capitalism wants to profit off of it. Pretty much everybody will want to use it to boost efficiency and to maximize profits. And the people behind those technological advancements will want to find a way to profit off that technological advancement and to monetize it. So capitalism and the advancement of technology, they work hand in hand to diminish creatives and to exploit them. So the connections I made between capitalism and the creative industry sound pretty pessimistic, right? You were probably asking yourself, what should we do? Is it worth being a professional creative or trying to pursue being a professional creative in the first place? Is it sustainable? And given the state of the world and the rise of AI, here's what I suggest to do. So based off the commentary that I've seen regarding AI within the creative community, I have seen two major takes. One of those takes describes AI as this out of control train that we need to make an effort to stop.
Obviously, it's happening. People will be using it. Stand up for yourself. Like, you'll get pushed back, but not as far as if you already like push yourself back and like let it wash over you.
Yeah.
Like, let's get it regulated first and then talk about it.
Yeah.
Like,
let's put some general boundaries, because right now it's kind of like a
anything.
runaway train, and you guys are
Yeah.
like, well, it's already going. And I'm like,
And
no,
it's
we should
like,
maybe we should maybe stop the train.
yeah, maybe let's
Or
put
slow it
on the
down.
brakes a little bit. See what happens if we
Yeah.
try to do that. Like, stop, don't quit before we even started. Like,
Soon the train's gonna
it's so
turn around and it's gonna
crazy.
start coming towards us. And we're
Yeah,
not gonna be able to stop
exactly.
it. So it's like,
Yeah,
guys,
it's
guys,
like, let's put a brake on it. And if we need to
literally.
use it, like, let's do it. Yeah.
You guys are like, no, we just have to let the train go.
And then the other argument about AI is that artificial intelligence, generative AI, is a tool made for creatives.
But anyway, 8 reasons, okay, why AI was made for designers, okay?
Okay.
Number 1, AI handles all the tedious bullshit designers hate, so designers can focus on the fun stuff that they love.
Thank you.
That's number 1, right?
That's number
so,
1.
Again, let's be real. AI can handle all the mind-numbing tasks like research, data crunching, proposals, pricing, even if you have to how to reword sentences or replies to stressful emails, okay? You get to get all that stuff done for you now, so you have time to focus on the stuff that actually matters to you, the stuff that's fulfilling.
Yeah.
My personal take on AI is that it's either a sink or swim situation. It's here. Corporate America has widely accepted it. As I said earlier, capitalism is coherently related to technological advancement, and this is the case with the embrace of AI. And more money is getting poured into it. It's improving faster and faster. It's growing faster and faster. And there's nothing we can do to stop it from existing. It's here. I don't believe that AI was made for us. I believe that it was made for the general public to replace us. And so I recommend creatives to use AI to augment the workflow, not replace it, and to use AI to move a little bit faster. I don't condone the people that are using Midjourney or other like generative art platforms to create like big complete works of art using AI. I don't condone that. However, we have had some very successful and useful tools in our creative practice that came out because of AI. My 2 main examples of that is the select subject feature in Photoshop. That is AI right there. And generative expand, which has helped me so much with editing photos. Those 2 things came from AI and has made my life so much easier. And if it wasn't for AI, we wouldn't have those things. We would still have to manually select pixels instead of having it just select pretty much perfectly what you want to do. And that's just an example of a task that you normally do that just got simplified for you, so you're able to move faster doing what you do. And even with those tools, it's not perfect. There's times where I have to go in and reselect some pixels because it didn't get the selection right. There's times I have to figure out a different solution because generative AI and generative expand is not working right or correctly. And in those instances prove that there is still a space for us, there is still a role for us, we still have things to do within the creative space, especially working with these online programs, because AI is not going to get perfect. It's not perfect, and that's why we have to come in. Even when it comes to like stock images that are getting generated by AI, creatives, we know that there is a particular feel and look to these generative AI photos that doesn't look right, that doesn't feel natural. And if we creatives are able to recognize that, then other people are going to recognize that too. And they say that AI is going to replace us, but the people that are using AI that are outside of the creative industry or outside the creative realm, they don't know what looks good. They don't have any design expertise. They don't have any training or even taste. And so the people who actually have design training and expertise and just taste and knows what looks good, there's still a place for us, even in the world of AI, to be moderators of it. I would compare the rise of AI in our current state of the world right now to when the computer was introduced back in the 80s or the 90s. When the computer was introduced, graphic designers lost their freaking minds. They thought that graphic designers were going to be wiped off the face of the earth. It was no longer going to be a profession. It was no longer going to be a practice. And that was clearly wrong, because my computer back there is a staple in what I do as a graphic designer and as a creative, working as a photographer, a videographer. And so I feel like AI is going to turn into something like that, where it's going to become unfortunately a staple in what we do or our way of life. And it's just something that we're going to have to learn to embrace. And if you choose to not use it or embrace it or just accept what it is, you're going to sink, because if you're not going to use AI, somebody else is going to use AI. The last connection that I want to make between capitalism and the creative industry is that, hey, we're still here. Historically, even in times of war, political turmoil, economic downfall, art and creativity has continued to be there. Creating is a human instinct that will always be there, that will always exist, and there will always be an audience that wants to absorb from it. There will always be a place for art and creativity within a capitalistic society. There will always be an alternative space for art and creativity, and this space will always have an audience. It will always have some attraction to it. And so if you're looking to become a professional creative, if you're debating if it's worth it or not, regardless if you want to pursue your creative passions or just pursue being a professional creative, the art community, the creative space, the art and creative industry will always exist. It will always be here. We're going to end the episode off here. If you liked this episode, you liked what I shared, please go like the video on YouTube and go rate me on Spotify. Go follow the socials at as.acreative on Instagram. And if you're interested in me and what I do, I go by Rubios at ROOBIOS. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.